Hi everyone, it's Jen. I'm a holistic health coach as well as a certified personal trainer and certified nutrition coach. Today I'm here with Spiro. He is one of my all-time favorite clients ever. He has been with me through health coaching, personal training, and group fitness. So one of the few people who have experienced all of the things I have to offer. So I'm really excited to have him on here to share with you guys his journey, the things that he was working on, and how it's changed through time with him. So Spiro, if you want to introduce yourself, yeah, tell us a little
Yes,
bit about you.
thanks for having me on, Jen. I am a mathematical physicist at the California Institute of Technology. It's a university here in Pasadena, California. I've been doing research, I guess, since I was in high school, I feel. I've loved math since I was a little kid. There is a bunch of math in the back. It's not a prop from Hollywood. But I do work with Hollywood. I've been the science consultant to many of the Marvel movies, from Ant-Man to Captain Marvel and Avengers, things like that. And I often get asked things like, how does time travel work and what is quantum physics and stuff like that. So that's kind of my expertise. With all that, I guess I work more at an office setting in a way, even though since the pandemic hit, it's been from home. It actually has been great. It was actually one of those blessings in disguise where, even though there is a gym at CalTech, I didn't get to use it very often. I'd be too much into my research or work or meetings and stuff like that. So I wouldn't, even though it was close enough, I just wouldn't go. And I had a membership. And it was interesting because when the pandemic hit, my girlfriend Casey was thinking like, how do I continue working out? Because ironically, even though she works at USC, she would spend more time at the CalTech gym as a co-member than I did. And then there were a few classes online through USC, and you were one of the instructors. And though we tried a few different ones, the moment we found you, I think we were like, all right, Jen is the one. Um, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I was really excited to see you guys on there, and you're like very dedicated. Came to every single workout, never missed it. Was never late. Still to this day is there for every single one. So really appreciate your dedication to your wellness there, and really excited that we got a chance to work together even further. So tell me a little bit about what was going on for you, health and fitness wise, and why you decided to start working together on these challenges.
Yeah, this is it's a good question because often people do things because they set their mind to do something, right? Like, I want to be healthy, and it's a New Year's resolution or something like that. For me, I've been an athlete, I guess, since I was a little kid. I did track and field and volleyball, but it never really clicked in the sense of, oh, I want to go to the gym, right? Like, I love doing team sports because of the strategy involved with them, right? Just running around and making friendships. But it was never about, I just want to be swole, right? Or like, I even want to be healthy and eat better. It was more of a vague thing, like, it's good and I'll try to do that. And I try to be healthy, but I never considered it as something I wanted to do. And you said that we haven't missed a class, and it's basically true. I mean, it's the longest I've been committed to anything on a daily basis outside of being in a relationship, and it is crazy, and something that before you'd have to pay me a bunch of money, and even then probably like, to do this, right, to be in
Mhm.
pain from 5 to 6 p.m. every day and sweat and like be extremely sore and not be able to think straight. But what is interesting is that you didn't even have to do anything. You didn't have to convince us, right? It's just that it was so much fun working out with you, even though it was remotely. It wasn't even like kind of in person where you get to feed off each other's energy and stuff. That I just kept coming. I was like, huh, this is good. It wasn't even Casey before. She would be like, come on, you have to come with me and like, let's do it and stuff. This time I was like, no, I just want to be there, right? Like, and you had the group of other people working out there over Zoom. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is really exciting to see that it's almost been like a year. It's been about 10 months or so of you guys continuously coming in and everything. And you're able to see like a ton of progress, which I was really excited about. And so, we had talked one-on-one quite early on, probably in like July of like 2020 or June of 2020, to kind of see more of like where maybe I could help, maybe where you were struggling outside of just exercise, and see if we can get you to another level of health. And you're a total powerhouse. I think you were very modest in all of the things that you do, because you have a list that's like as long as Santa's list of things that you do and things you're involved in. And so can you tell us a little bit more about holistically, like the things that you're experiencing, like with sleep and mindfulness and all that stuff that we ended up working on?
Yeah, this is again, none of this was something that I ever thought about, right? Like I
Mhm,
have a very good life, I think, by any
mhm,
measure. But I thought, well, if Jen is already so good at making me do something that otherwise I wouldn't like stay away, I would run away from, right? Let alone
mhm,
on a daily basis,
mhm,
then maybe she has this gift, like that, your personality and everything, and wisdom beyond your years, which is kind of incredible. That you just have a way of making somebody feel comfortable, but also going there, right? And finding things that you may not, no matter how smart you think you are, that you haven't actually considered, right? And even just having somebody from the outside to think about you, right? Like both as a friend, right? But also as somebody who can think for you, like allows you then through them to think about yourself, that it is okay to eat better, right? It is okay to be a little bit selfish and have these non-negotiables. So to me, it was kind of like it was a weird feeling because I thought I would have figured this out by myself by now, but I couldn't, right? It almost required the ability to see yourself from the outside, so another human being that like cares for your growth and your kind of happiness. And it was really nice to see that it wasn't just words, right? That was like important to me, that I can rationalize so many things on my own as a human being, and I can say to myself, this is how you should be good to yourself, you should be good to others, right? Take care of yourself, all that stuff. But you provided tools, right, and specific things, and you were like, no, you need to eat breakfast in the morning. And since you're so busy and you have so many other things that you're excited about, right, it's not even that you don't like eating, you love eating, you love, like, right, you're connoisseur and all that stuff. How come you don't do it, right? And you just, there's all these other priorities in your mind, but this could also be something that you enjoy. And that's ironically everything fit together in my journey, I guess, with you in all the different things that you offer, because I had a proof of principle to begin with, that you somehow made me do something, the actual physical workouts every day, that became so important to me without realizing. At some point I started making sure that nobody, like no matter what research or business interest or anything like that, between 5 and 6 p.m. every day, that it was clear that hour
mhm,
was completely open, right? And I would force people, even if they were celebrities or billionaires or whoever, would like meet me before or after a day next or whatever. They'd be like, I'm sorry, but I can't do this.
mhm,
So it became non-negotiable. And then I thought there were other things, right? You were like, well, here you have one, obviously. What are other things that you really enjoy doing that you think like you didn't even deserve, right? To make as non-negotiables. And if you find things, if you're clever and creative enough to find things that you enjoy doing, right? Like breakfast you enjoy eating every day, that is also good for you, right? And healthy and will make you stronger and will allow you to also do the workouts and all that stuff. And that's what really did some of this magic for me.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm really grateful that I was able to be a source of support and accountability for you throughout this. Because, like, obviously, everyone who's listening right now, I can tell that you are an extremely intelligent human being. And kind of what came along with that was, one of the biggest challenges that you face at the beginning was that you're such a extreme empath that, like, you have this very strong desire and will to just help out everybody, no matter who they are at any time. And that was kind of eating away at you, where you're like, I want to be able to be at peace and like find equanimity within yourself and not have to take on all the energy, all the negativity of the world. And so when we first started off talking about non-negotiables, even, it was like, well, what even is not negotiable? Like everything's negotiable because it just depends, right? It's like if it's, my workout versus going to do work to save the world, like you would always go do the work to go save the world. And so to see transition from that to be able to come from a place of making sure that your cup is full before you could go on your day, that was incredible to see. And I'm interested to know, like, more about how you were able to create these mindset shifts. So you were mentioning like some of the tools that you're using. Like, what did you find that was really helpful for you, and how are you maintaining that?
Yeah, so I guess maybe I'm the same, or maybe I'm very different from other people, but I don't have any, like I never had any planner or a personal assistant, right? You know all about this. You're like, get one. And I have so many things, right, that I work on, so many different dimensions also of a human nature, right? From business to academia to outreach to like, research, all these different things, and they can happen every day, right? Every day you have to switch, like, your mind from this to this, like your personality, all that stuff as who you are, to be able to survive in every single one of these different industries, for example, and to thrive, right, and to help others as well. And I think for me, what you helped me realize that was kind of profound was that if you actually enjoy, if you really take the time to figure out how to make something, like, you don't have to compromise. This is the amazing realization. You don't have to compromise. You don't have to eat like your broccoli, like to be healthy. There exist recipes that can make even broccoli, right, like, and Brussels sprouts, so delicious that you're looking forward to having them every day if possible, right? You gotta go out of your way to do this, like chocolate or something. And working out with you just like opened my mind to like, wait a minute, it's effortless. Like the desire to do it is so effortless. I look forward to it, even though ironically, like the workout itself is like so exhausting, right? But it feels good. I mean, it feels good. You're not just like, oh, we're just gonna, do some massage right now or something. Like, no, you're like doing HIIT workouts, cardio, kickboxing. Like, it's non-stop. Like, you're just dying, right? And
Yeah.
at no point did I feel like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this tomorrow, right? It was like, all right, I was just looking forward to it, and still am, right, after a year, to this.
Yeah.
And to the next level, which has been more of the personal training, which we can discuss. But that was the realization, which again, I think was profound, that it's not a zero-sum game, right? You don't have to give something else up in order to do this other thing. You don't have to, lose yourself to help others, right? In fact, and I understood that, I guess, kind of like intellectually before, that it is better to take care of yourself so you can be strong enough to lift others, right? Than just to become so weak at some point, but just helping everyone else, that at some point you become the burden to somebody else, right? And it was intellectually something clear to me, but I didn't have the specific experiences and tools, right, that you provided, to be like, and this is what it looks like. This is what a fun workout looks like every day. This is what a nice breakfast looks like every day, right? Like, all these things were just the specific experiences that you're like, yeah, tea. You like tea, or you like Japanese culture? You like, go for it. Like, don't hold back. Why are you holding back?
Yeah.
You're like, you like to eat a snack, but you think it's not food. It is food. Of course, it's food. It's nutritious. You enjoy it, right? Go for it.
100%. It's just like allowing yourself to be and like trusting that you know what's best for you. So I really like that point. And I think let's talk a little bit more about the physicality of these workouts and the benefits that you saw from
Yeah, it was that was weird in a good way.
it.
It was surprising because, um, I've been an athlete since I was like a younger kid, and now that I'm a professional thinker, right, a quantum physicist at CalTech, that's not what you do every day. You don't go and work out every day, right? Like I used to do in high school and college. So it was amazing to see. I think I'm the strongest I've ever been right now, right? Which is crazy because again, I worked with like the national team in Greece, like, with track and field and all that stuff. And so we did like squats, power lifts, all that stuff, right? And even then, like I didn't see the transformation that they've seen working out with you. And it is funny because it's like once you do something every day, it makes sense. It accumulates, right? You don't realize you're getting like somehow ripped, right? And you're like stronger and fitter and all that stuff. It just happens. And it's a secondary thing, right? You're just going there because you're enjoying looking at each other like dying, trying to work out, and like somehow you're still talking through it and smiling and singing and whatever. Like how, I don't know how she does it. You're just going through it. And then at the end, you're like, it also makes your day better, your evening, right? It also is a great way, especially during something like the pandemic, to separate the work part of the day from the evening, right? Where you can just relax, have some food, and just do something else. It's a great transition, especially since everything is happening at the same place, at home, for many of us. So yeah.
Yeah, no, your transformation is incredible. Like, I'm gonna have your, transformation photo up as well. Like, just like you can just see, like, even just like the shoulders, it was like crazy. I loved it. It was like, yes, like this is what dedication gets you, and I absolutely love it. And I like that you bring up this point of transitioning from work from home culture to just like living at home, right? I think a lot of people have had challenges with that, of being mindful of, when does work start, when does work stop, how can I actually like turn off my laptop, turn off my brain, and just relax. And to hear that working out for you was one of the things that kind of got you in there is fantastic. And so that brings me to my next question of, we started working together all in 2020 during a pandemic where everything was insane. And while it was a blessing in disguise for you, where you got to stay home and kind of be more attuned to what you actually wanted to do, I'm wondering like why it was during this time that you felt like it was the best time for you to focus on yourself and your wellness.
I mean, that's because of you. I had no reason. It was, yeah, I was going to be honest, right? And that's again this profound realization that it's not about some abstract thing that internally you're like, this is the year when everything is going to shit, and excuse my language, right? This is the year to focus on myself. No, it was just like it became a priority because it's kind of like when you find after years like some cuisine that you love, right? For us, it's like Japanese cuisine. Greek also, it's incredible, but it's not as easy to find here in LA, good Greek food. So you find a place, right? Or you find a cuisine, you find something, and then you just can't have enough of it, right? And it turns out that unlike, say, McDonald's burgers, right? Where as a kid, I was like, I love them and all stuff. Unlike that, working out with you or working with you, right? And all that stuff, turns out to also be good for you, like really good for you. It's like like super broccoli kind of thing, right? Or like whatever is very nutritious for you. And that's what it was. It wasn't anything else. Like again, very specifically, Casey was telling me like, oh, here, come and work out in the beginning before we even got a chance to work out with you over the internet. And these were the free workouts that USC was providing, right, over Zoom for students and for health. And from the point of view of wellness, you have different options. And I mean, we tried three different people, and I remember clearly thinking like, yeah, no, so you have to drag me. Like one of them we did twice, right? And the second time I was like, I really don't, I don't feel like, I'm like, don't bring me down. I was like a kid or something, right? I don't want to do this, because we do the workouts and still do it at the garage here. And then once you showed up, right, and it was just, I don't know what it is, right? It is some type of it is different from different people, I assume, but you just have this gift, I think, right? And it just made it like very enjoyable.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, like I have no there's no bigger compliment than like you guys just keep on coming and enjoying the workout. I think for me at least, like with seeing my impact on you was when you told me that you were sleeping better. I was like, holy crap, seriously? You're
Yeah,
sleeping better? That
yeah.
was so great to hear.
That is very non-trivial accomplishment, I have to say, right? Because, you know, and it's one of those things I didn't even think about, that is something you can even change, honestly, because it's just, maybe it's biological, maybe it's like you're getting older, or maybe it's all these things in your mind, but there's just no way to escape it. And in the end, it was just the endorphins, I guess, from working out. And very practically, you get hungry, like genuinely hungry, and you're happy to be hungry after a hard workout, right? And so you eat earlier, and that's magical, because by eating earlier, you have like, you know, just enough energy to do something, like watch something on Netflix or just like talk or whatever. And then you go to sleep earlier, and your body also like metabolizes everything much better. It's not something heavy stuck, right, in your stomach, in your belly, where you're trying to digest and you can't go to sleep, you have to wake up and stuff. And when I saw this happen, where you could just sleep through like for 8-9 hours and be like, I didn't want to wake up. It just brought back memories of being a kid, where you really want that sleep. You're like, don't wake me up, okay? Versus like, yep, it's 6:30 or 7 or something, I'm up, I'm gonna go do my thing or whatever. No, I was like, I'm enjoying this, I want to stay in bed. And also with the personal training over the past couple of months now, it has exacerbated the need to okay. And I love how you're like, after some really, you know, hard workout, oh, you're gonna sleep well tonight, right? And so there are times where it's like a fight between, yes, I'm ready to shut down, but also I'm so sore that my body's physically screaming, kind of thing. You're like, ah. So yeah.
Yeah, you work yourself hard for sure, and like I'm there to push you for sure. So but yeah, just getting swole, having fun while we do it, hopefully.
That's right. And I love how you're like, oh, Spiro, I have something fun for you today. It's like, oh, well, what is that? And by the way, we do everything with a mask on, right? Like, so, you know, that
Right,
makes it
right.
hard when you're working hard and you're trying to breathe in and all that stuff. And you're
100%.
like, yeah, we'll do the Spartan challenge, the 300. I was like, what is this? Like, it'll be fun. Trust me, right? It is.
Oh, it's so fun.
Oh, yes.
It's amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing like all your journey of like fitness and health and stuff. Just to like to kind of give like rapid fire kind of questions here. What was the biggest challenge that you faced throughout this process for you?
Well, the biggest challenge is my mind is so analytical, right? And you think you can figure out stuff on your own, and anything to do with things that are beyond just very concrete science. And as a mathematician, right, you know, it's even worse than even a physicist or something. Like, I have to prove things in my mind to assign enough value to do it myself, right? And to do something that was like, oh yes, meditation is important, breathing is important, all that stuff. That was a challenge, which it seemed ironically to be like, even though it seemed to me to be the largest challenge for me to overcome, that I have to allow myself to believe in these softer things, right, out there, right? There's some value to them. Again, the workouts made it so real, because during a workout, as you're doing planks, or as you're doing like all the different lunges, all the stuff where you're burning up, right? It's a physical, very visceral sensation where you can't just think it away. You can't outsmart it, right? It's just there. And then all of a sudden you're like, by the way, you're breathing in during this part of the exercise, and you have to breathe out. And I've been doing it backwards, say, in real time. And I switched to what you suggest. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, wow, that's incredible. Like, I could just go for another 2 minutes now versus just dying right now. It tells
Yeah.
you that there's something to it, right? Like, and then of course, as you practice it more, you find yourself then thinking, right? And it's happened to me several times where I'm doing something and I'm kind of like, the moment I get kind of stressed, I realize that my breathing stops or slows down significantly, right? And I catch myself now. I can do that now and be like, breathe. And as you breathe, it changes your mental state, which is amazing. It becomes more positive, and you're like, oh, it's going to be fine. And indeed, you find the solution much faster. So yeah.
Yeah, you're able to like really bring mindfulness into everything, and like using fitness to reconnect with your body and your mind is just like so amazing. And yeah, like people, you don't have to start with like meditation or whatever, because it's frustrating, and it's a very difficult challenge that takes a long time and dedication to see a lot of benefits with. But for an exercise like with you, like you were saying, you're able to kind of see this right away, where you're like, okay, like this is a change that makes my workout so much better and makes me so much more in tune with my body. So I'm really glad that you're able to find that for yourself.
Yeah, there was like, this has been so good, and working with you has been like so powerful that if you remember at some point, one of the biggest worries I had was what happened when the pandemic ended. And
Yes.
then I couldn't work out with you, kind of thing, because then you'd be big and famous and go out and like do your usual big classes with tons of people and stuff. And that was, and you're like, come on, it's going to be fine. Because still do personal training, which got me started also on that, right? And it was surprising to me, but I was like, I was worried that like I wouldn't have enough broccoli in my life, kind of thing. Like, where do I find like fresh broccoli? So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll always find a way. So I'm glad. And the pandemic is not near over yet. So we still have
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
All right, next question, real quick. How are things now? And has there been anything else that's changed for you? Maybe like something unexpected.
I see. Now I think like things are really great right now. Again, we've talked about how many balls I have in the air and all that stuff. But yeah, this year, I guess, you know, all the things I've learned over the past 6 months working with you um, have allowed me to take a next step where, you know, I've been more of a private celebrity in a strange way, right? Like within my world, and like other people know me and all that stuff. But I'm finally ready to open up more, put myself out there into the world, instead of just doing it through other famous people's work, right? You know, with as a consulting partner. And I think the only reason I can do that is because, from a practical point of view, to be able to figure out like what is important to you and how you can prioritize, right, and schedule things properly. And more importantly, that it's okay to spend resources, both time and money, for certain things that may seem almost like luxuries to your former self, right? To have a team that is going to do something for you instead of you doing everything, right? To spend like some money on a good meal or a set of like good meals that you really enjoy, and then you learn, say, how to cook them yourself. Things like that, where before I was like, no. I have to be extremely frugal, efficient, right? And all that stuff. And there is even in mathematics an aspect of optimization, as it's called, optimization theory, where you may think that you found the optimal, right? Using very tiny steps just throughout the landscape of energies. Then you find something that is like very low energy. And you're like, this is great. I don't want to move from here. Okay. Because the next one, which may be much lower minimum, like much better for you, may be up a hill first. You're like, I'm never gonna like go over this. Like it's too much energy, too much money, too much time, whatever. But then if you do it, if somebody convinces you, someone like you is like, no, it's worth exploring that, then you can come to a much better, more optimal like place in your life where everything finally fits together. You can sleep better, you're eating better, you're stronger, literally, right? You know, so
Hell yeah. Yeah, you're stepping into your power through. I'm super excited for everything that you're working on, and like to see what happens this year, because like it's so incredible everything that you're working on. Very, very excited. And I'm sure everyone else here too like will be stalking you online and like, what are you working on? Okay, so that pretty much wraps up everything here. Is there anything else at all that you would like to add?
I guess anything else to add, I will say to anyone who is thinking like, you know, should I take care of myself? Should I take time and spend time and money, right? Um, on whatever, you know, the personal journey that I've been through, say, over the past year. The answer is yes, but with a qualification, right? You have to find your Jen, right? Maybe you, Jen, are not their Jen, but just go out there and find the person that you are to meet, right? You know, in this journey. and then all of a sudden things just become is worth it, absolutely, but only if, don't force it, just find the right person. Okay.
Yeah,
Just makes a huge
100%.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah, connection is everything. I think this is why like people need to try different therapists. If you're like, going through some mental health challenge, like you gotta keep trying, find different people, and ask people for referrals as well. Like I think that's extremely important to just find someone that you feel safe with and can connect with. So thank you again so much, Spiro, for all of your wisdom that you shared today. Thank you so much for your vulnerability. Very grateful again to have you on here and like share your story with everyone. Yeah, all the best to you, and I'll see you like tonight for class.
Oh yes, I look
Yeah.
forward to the pain. Yeah. Oh, hit cardio, my friend. Yes, this is gonna be good.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
See you soon. Bye.